right, let's also take in a perspective from Rupashri on that particular question. Rupashri, when he was asked about Dinesh Arora, why did Manish Sisodia not answer the question allegedly?
In that press conference, Manish Sisodia stuck to the broad outline against, of BJP versus Aam Aadmi Party and Modi versus Kejriwal, and of him being innocent just because he is a minister in the Arvind Kejriwal government, and just like Satyendra Jain has been arrested before, he too is going to be arrested. Now, one of the reasons why Manish Sisodia is not getting into the nitty-gritties of the Delhi excise liquor policy, remember, it is because an FIR has already been filed. Very likely, as Sisodia himself has said, in another 2-3 days he also could be arrested. This battle is going to be fought in the court. So Aam Aadmi Party leaders, including Sisodia himself, are very careful of uttering anything or discussing this in detail in public, because it may be played out in a way in the court that they may not have anticipated before. And the other point is that there are many people who have been named in the FIR, not just one. But if you look at the allegation of favoritism, if you look at the allegation of receiving money on behalf of one person, allegedly to favor another person, there are many names over there. So once the Aam Aadmi Party or Manish Sisodia starts saying or speaking about it, then there would be no end to it. And that is probably one of the reasons why the Aam Aadmi Party essentially is saying that this is completely political vendetta. It has nothing to do with corruption. Had the Modi government anything to do with corruption, it would have acted against various other cases. Of the instances that he gave was the collapse of the Bundelkhand Expressway and also the huge tragedy in Gujarat. And he was trying to make the argument, and he was trying to bolster his own argument by saying that when there has been very little action or no action on these counts, and then how does this only become a case of corruption, and therefore it is not a case of corruption. But regardless of anything that the Aam Aadmi Party says, or anything that the BJP accuses the Aam Aadmi Party of, or anything that Sisodia is charged with, the point that I keep making is ultimately when it goes to the court, it will be up to the defense and the prosecution. How solid is the defense of Manish Sisodia? What are going to be the arguments and answers in the court of law? And what will the prosecution say? How is it going to prove that there is a quid pro quo? How is it going to prove that there is criminal intent behind the new excise policy? And these are not easy tasks to prove in a court of law, and therefore finally it will be up to the courts to decide. Now, as you heard Sisodia himself, he said it actually today, and we have been reporting about it since yesterday, that there is a sense of Sisodia being arrested, and that is a sort of an imminent threat that Aam Aadmi Party leaders perceive, and they have been bracing themselves up against that. And the second point that the Aam Aadmi Party leaders are closely looking at, or the legal team is closely looking at, is under what provision is Sisodia going to be arrested? Is it CBI which is going to do it, or is he going to be arrested under much more stricter provisions under the Enforcement Directorate? If it happens under the Enforcement Directorate, then of course getting a bail also will become a huge challenge, like it has become with the other minister Satyendra Jain. So not a very comfortable situation for the party at all, and the party is essentially fighting with its back to the wall, is trying to push back against the narrative that has been set. And another point that I would like to make is that all these amounts of money that is being mentioned, 8,000 crores, 10,000 crores, and when BJP leaders actually say it over and over and over again, so that's that also has the potential to dent the image of not just Manish Sisodia but of the Aam Aadmi Party also on its anti-corruption plank. But the Aam Aadmi Party also knows, the CBI also knows that in order to defend the arrest of Manish Sisodia in a court of law, they will have to have very strong evidence, and that is perhaps what the CBI is now busy with.
But Rupashi, the fact that Arvind Kejriwal didn't perhaps outright come and defend the new excise policy is something that is being used by the BJP against the Aam Aadmi Party. They're saying that Sisodia is left to defend himself and that Kejriwal has deserted him and his excise policy. Can you tell us the last time Kejriwal addressed the policy, and was there a reason why he didn't highlight the merits of the policy again today when he spoke to the press, or rather to the camera?
Well, yesterday when he spoke, actually he did defend Manish Sisodia. So it is not as if he has abandoned Manish Sisodia as has been alleged by Mr. Amit Malviya. He did say that, and initially also when the first time that they gave the go-ahead for the CBI probe, Kejriwal said that Manish Sisodia is Kattar Imandar. I have known him for so many years. And he also said that, even yesterday he said that, I have been arrested before. There are cases against me. There are cases against so many other people. So arrests or this sort of an action by various agencies, the Aam Aadmi Party chief sees it is inevitable in the process, in the political process and growth of a particular party, and they should not be seen as obstacles. Now, when it comes precisely about the Delhi's liquor policy, now on that, over all the press conferences that we have heard, none of the Aam Aadmi Party leaders have actually gone into the nitty-gritties of it or specificities of it, except for Manish Sisodia once, and that was probably about 2 weeks back, when and after the go-ahead for CBI probe had already been given, and in that press conference, I'm sorry, in that press conference actually, he detailed the entire chronology, the idea behind the excise policy, the thought behind it, and how and why it failed. And he had also called for a CBI investigation against the then Lieutenant Governor Anil Baijal. Now, Anil Baijal also in his defense had responded and said that he acted as per constitutional norms, and that he is completely, his conduct has been completely impeccable. So this has been going on and on for some time, which is why I say that finally it will be up to the courts to decide whether Sisodia is guilty or not. But if you look at what is happening, with the Aam Aadmi Party's government also, definitely it is not an easy situation to be in. Even as we speak, Arvind Kejriwal is
Rupashi, I'm sorry to interrupt you.